Hello everyone. Today's lecture is Chapter 2, Data Collection. Okay. Let's go to page here. So page 9. So we will discuss the classification of data. So if we have a data, then this data can be divided by categorical data and numerical data. And categorical data again divided by verbal level and coded. And numerical data is divided by discrete data and continuous data. Okay. Okay, so and let's remove my face because you need not to see my so stupid face. Okay, so then let's go back to the so type of data. Okay, so I told you in the first the figure the data can be divided by categorical data and numerical data. Categorical data is just so have values that are described by the word rather than numbers. For example, so the automobile style can be classified by size: full size, mid size, compact, subcompact. So in this case, full, mid size, compact, subcompact, this kind of words are categorical data. Or movies can be categorized using the common movie classification: action, adventure, children, family, classic, comedy, documentary, something like that. So if some data can be given by the words, then it is called categorical data. And if so you would like to simplify the categorical data, then you can do the coding. Coding means that just assign a numerical number to the bubble information. So even though we have, so for example, if you go to the Walmart, then you can pay, the payment method can be characterized by cash, check, credit, debit card, or gift card. So it is bubble data. But so in coding, you can assign the number 1 for the cash, 2 for check, 3 for credit card and debit card, 4 for the gift card. So in this case, this data has numbers instead of the words, but it is still categorical data because these numbers represent the bubble information. So in this case, we say that it is coding. So coding means that assign the integer number, positive integer usually, into the categorical data. So then we say that it is bubble data. So number to the bubble data, then we say that it is coding. Okay. This case, in the first example case, these numbers does not have ranking. So we can assign another number. Instead of 1, we can give 2 for cash, 1 for check, 4 for credit card, and 5 for gift card, or something like that. So in the first example, the order of number has no meaning, but sometimes coding has some ranking information. So for example, so education degrees are verbal data. So and bachelor, master, doctorate. After then, we give the number, assign the number 1 for the bachelor, 2 for the master, 3 for the doctorate. Then this 1, 2, 3 has an order. Okay? So this order of number has another information. So it is very highly educated, and it is highly educated, and it is uh, more highly educated. So in this case, the order of numbers has some meaning. So in this case, coding is a little different from the verbal data because the order of numbers have another information, ranking information. So coding has two parts. One is just give a number without any ranking information, or so in this case it has no ranking information, but or sometimes the number has some ranking, meaning then we can give some number. The smaller a number is, the less educated, and the larger is more educated, something like that. In this case it is uh, so it is coding, ranking coding. So even though the coding data consists of numbers, but we do not say the coding information, coded data is numerical data. Coded data is not numerical data because coded data is just a verbal data, and we assign the name for the convenience. But numerical data is the data which is given by real numbers. So for example, so it is numerical and quantitative data. We do not assign the data, but the data itself is number. So for example, the number of auto insurance claims filed in March, it is 114 claims are filed in March. So it is the numerical data. Number itself, data. We do not assign the number to some meaning. Okay? And it is sales last quarter, so 4,920. It is also number data. And so snowfall over last 24 hours, amount of snowfall, and so financial ratio, quantitative ratios, physical measurement, height, width, weight, all of 99% of the data are given by numerical data. Numerical data again classified by discrete and continuous. Discrete data is usually integer data. So number of event, number of some cases, and so on. So for example, the number of Medicaid patient in a hospital waiting room is discrete data. Or number of takeoffs at Chicago International Airport is discrete data. It is just integer, and we can separate the numbers and numbers. So it is impossible to have 2.3 patients are waiting for doctors. It is impossible. Because 2.3 people, then we have to cut a man, so by using knife, it is impossible. So in this discrete data is always given, so many times it is given by numbers, and number of takeoff is also. So we cannot say that 37.25 number of airport takeoff in the international airport. It is very nonsense. So we only have the integer numbers, then we say that it is discrete data. But continuous data is a little different. So continuous data is numerical variable that can have any values within an interval. So for example, physical measurement. So uh, we imagine that, for example, weight. So some student has 100 pounds. So student who is included in the 100 pound to 200 pound. So then we can imagine that 100, 110, 120, so 150.5, 150.7. So this kind of weights are available between this interval. Distances also, so 2.7 kilometers, 2.5 kilometers, or so 10.9 miles, 10.23 45 miles or something like that. This kind of physical measurement cannot be integer numbers. It could have decimals. In this case, we say that it is continuous data type. Financial variable, for example, sales, asset, price earning ratio, so inventory turns, they are all the real number, and they are so continuous numbers. So run of signboard's time in 100-meter dash, so 9.58 seconds. So then this kind of data is continuous data, which is not integer, but have some decimal. So in this case, we say that it is continuous data. Okay. So weight of package of SunMind license. So for example, 427.31 grams. So it is included in this interval. So 425 to between 425 429 grams. So in this case, we say that it is continuous. Okay. Okay, so then we consider all the categorization of data in this figure. We can imagine two more categorization in addition. One is time series data and the other is cross-sectional data. Time series data is, in these days, time series data is very important in finance because it is a kind of, time series data can be used for the forecasting, so future. So, for example, the time series data is the data which has always value and time is given together. Then we say that it is a time series data. So, for example, national income GDP, consumption, investment is reported annually. Every year, we can find GDP for 2016, GDP for 2015, GDP for 2014. Then we imagine that the GDP value together with the year. In this case, we can see the time and value at the same time together. And so economy indicator, consumer price index, unemployment rate, S&P 500 index price are also given by time and value. So S&P 500 of today, S&P 500 index yesterday, S&P 500 index at 10 o'clock a.m., S&P 500 index for 10:30 a.m., something like that. So this kind of data always given by time and value together. In this case, we say that time series data. Okay, time series. So okay. So time series data is simple. So values are so together with time stamp. Then we say that it is time series data. Cross-sectional data is more general. So cross-sectional data has also two informations are provided together. The first information is some values, for example, traffic facilities, traffic fatalities in 15 US states for a given year. So then we have the traffic fatalities value and state name. So traffic fatalities for New York, traffic fatalities for New Jersey, traffic fatalities for California, something like that. So we have two informations in one data, value and geometrical area. So then we say that it is cross-sectional data. And debit equity ratio for Fortune 500 firms. So then the debit equity ratio value together with the name of firm, 500 name of firms. So we have two-dimensional data value and name of firm. In this case, we say that it is cross-sectional data. Last month's Visa balance for banks. So bank's new mortgage applicants. So applicant's name and Visa balance are given together. So two data are given in one space. Then we say that it is cross-sectional data. Okay. So again, the time series data and cross-sectional data is additional classification. So most important thing is this four classification: bubble, code, discrete, discontinuous. So that is first topic of chapter 2. The second topic of chapter 2 is level of measurement. Okay. Let's see this figure first. So we have a data, then we will classify this data based on this question. So natural data ordering. So if the data has an order, then we go this way. And natural data has no order, then we go this way. It is nominal data. Okay. Nominal data has no order. Okay. For example, let me discuss the nominal data again later. And if we have the ordering, then we go this way. Okay? And scale distance is meaningful. If it has no meaning, then we say that this is ordinal data. And scale distance is meaningful, then we say that it is, so we go this way. And then we have another question. So 0 point is meaningful, then we go this way. And so it is meaningful, then we go this way, ratio data. But 0 point is not meaningful, then we go this way. And it is interval data. They say that it is interval data. Okay, let's study this nominal, ordinal, interval, ratio data one by one. So nominal measurement is the weakest level of measurement and the easiest to recognize. Nominal data is, so just a name. Nominal is the name. For example, do you file an insurance claim last month? Yes or no? So in this case, yes, it is very similar as verbal data. Yes and no has no order. So we can assign no for one, yes for two. So in this case, it is nominal data. Another example, which cell phone service provider do you use? AT&T, Sprint, T-Mobile, Verizon, and others. So this case also, they are all verbal data. So it has the order is no meaning. Okay. So we have no order. So AT&T is better than Sprint. I think so, but so it is not. So this so service satisfaction order. So it just give the name as so alphabet order, but the alphabet order is no meaningful in this case. So this brand names has no orders, and yeah, ordinal measurement is that so the ranking to the values. Okay, let's go back to the nominal and ordinal. We are ordinal, so no, we started nominal and we go this way, and we are so ordinal data. So ordinal data code is so ordinal data is like that. So S&P 500 S&P credit rating, Standard & Poor's credit rating is important ordinal measurement example. So if you go to the so Standard & Poor's rating company, then they so give the credit rate for each corporate bond and each firms. AAA is the best company which has very low default probability, and B minus is almost a junk bond which has very high probability to be defaulted. So in this case, it has an order. So AAA is better than AA plus, double A. So double A plus is better than double A is better than double A minus, and so on. So it is the default probability of triple A is smallest, and default probability double A plus is larger than triple A but less than double A, and default probability of double A is larger than AA plus, less than double A minus, and so on. So these data looks like nominal, but they have an order. In this case, we say that it is ordinal measurement. So job title also president, so vice president, and manager, department head, clerk. So it has an so single order. Okay? Ordinal data can be treated as nominal, but nominal data cannot be ordinal. So nominal data means that the data which has no order, and ordinal data is nominal data which has order. Okay? Okay. So if you have nominal data, but your nominal data has more information such as some orders, then we say that it is ordinal measurement. Interval measurement is internal data is not only rank, but also has meaningful interval between scale points. So interval measurement usually have some continuous data type. So for example, Celsius or Fahrenheit scales of temperature, the interval between 60 degree and 70 degree is the same as the interval between 20 degree and 30 degree. So the size of interval between 60 to 70 is the same as 20 to 30. So in this case, we say that it is interval measurement. But so in ordinal measurement is different. The distance between AAA and AA plus is not same as distance between B to B minus. So the distance between these two data is not same as distance between these two data. So this interval between these two data and the interval between these two data is not so clearly measured. And this interval value is not same. So we cannot imagine how this interval between these two. But this interval measurement says that here is 20 and 30, and here is 60 and 50, 70. Then interval between 60 and 70 degree is the same as the interval between 20 and 30. So in this case, we say that it is interval measurement. So the intervals between numbers represent distance. So we can do the mathematical operations such as taking an average. But in this case, we cannot, so in S&P 500 credit rating case, we cannot do the mathematical calculation. AAA plus AA plus is not, it is nonsense. So AAA plus A plus AA. So this kind of operation is nonsense. But in here, so 20 degree plus 10 degree is 30 degree. So this kind of operation is meaningful in interval measurement. Okay, so and the final measurement is ratio measurement. Ratio measurement is the strongest level of measurement. So it is interval data. Ratio data is the same as interval data, but it has the zero. It has a meaningful zero. Okay, so 20 million profit is twice much as 10 million, and zero profit has a meaningful, we have no profit, and minus profit is loss. If we, okay, so in this case we say that it is ratio measurement. For example, balance sheet data, income statement data, financial ratios, physical account, scientific measurement are all, except temperature, many scientific measurements are ratio value. But ratio measurement and interval measurement is a little different. Okay. Because the 0 point, so for example, interval measurement, temperature example, so 60 Fahrenheit degree is, we cannot say that 60 Fahrenheit is twice as warm as 30 Fahrenheit. So if you imagine that if you change this 60 Fahrenheit to Celsius, so then how many Celsius we have? 28, it is 15, almost 15 Celsius. And 30 Fahrenheit is minus almost minus 1 Celsius. So then 60 degree is, if you say that 60 degree is twice as warm as 30 degree, then it looks meaningful. It looks meaningful for the Fahrenheit. But if you change it to the Celsius, then 15 degrees Celsius is 15 degree Celsius twice as warm as minus 1 Celsius. It is nonsense. 15 degree is not twice warmer than minus 1 Celsius. So this sentence looks good for Fahrenheit, but if we change this Fahrenheit to the Celsius, then this sentence is nonsense. So it is the same 60 Fahrenheit and 16 Fahrenheit and 15 Celsius are the same information, but we cannot say the twice as warm as 30 Fahrenheit for the Celsius. So in this case, if the data has this kind of property, we cannot say this data is ratio. So interval data cannot be ratio. Okay? If the data is called ratio, then, for example, here, so ratio data value, so of the profit, so 20 million profit is twice much $10 million profit. If we change this dollar to euro, this twice as much as so 10 million so can be changed to euro, then I don't know, but it would be 9 million, and 20 million will be changed to euro, then it will be 18 million euro again. So 9 million is twice, so 18 million is twice higher than 9 million. So this fact is not changed even we change the currency to foreign currency. In this case, we say that it is ratio measurement. Okay, so interval and ratio is different. So they say that it is meaningful zero. So 0 is not changed. So but Celsius and Fahrenheit case, so 0 Celsius is 32 Fahrenheit. So in this case, 0 has no meaning. So Fahrenheit 0 and Celsius 0 is different. So Fahrenheit 0 has no meaning. Celsius 0 is no meaning in Fahrenheit point of view, and 0 Fahrenheit is no meaning in Celsius point of view. But in this case, ratio case, so $0 is the same as 0 euro, and it is the same as 0 yen or yuan, and it is the same as 0 franc, and so on. So 0, we have meaningful 0 in ratio measurement. Okay. Finally, we classify the data with this chart. So then nominal, ordinal, interval, and ratio data. Okay. Okay. So final topic of this lecture is sample and population. So we are studying statistics. Why we have to study statistics? Because human beings are very limited creatures, so we cannot see all the data in our life. So total data is named population. Population. So population means that, for example, if you're interested in the New York citizens' weight, then that is population data. So then can you see all the data of New York citizens' weight, body weight? It would be impossible. For example, you cannot meet all of the New York citizens in the limited time. And sometimes some New York citizens are not stay in New York, but go to another place. And some other people rush to the New York, and so Texas guys can come to New York and so on. So you cannot separate the New York citizens and non-New York citizens. That is impossible. And measure the all of New York citizens' weight is so huge and so difficult process, so we cannot achieve. In this case, instead of study all the population data, we just sample so some limit number of items and measure the weight. For example, 100 people. We select 100 people in New York City, and so check the weight, and we guess this n, in this case 100 number of data can represent the population data. So in this case, we say that it is sample. Using sample, we just approximate the population information. Population information is so large and it is sometimes impossible to measure. So instead of study the population, all of the population data, we just select small samples and study the small samples and so approximate and guess the population data. So for example, this approximation and the approximation is called statistic. The reason why we study the statistic is that the nature and the society is so huge, so a human being cannot see all of the phenomena in the nature and the society. So instead of, it is impossible to see the total data that named population, it is impossible to see the population. So instead of seeing the population, we study the samples and find some property of sample and we guess the shape of population. That is the statistic. For example, we have population mean. So then mean of New York citizens' weight. So average of New York citizens' weight is very difficult to measure, but we just select 100 of New York citizens and measure the weight and find the sample mean of these 100 data, 100 samples, and we just approximate this sample mean as population mean. We just guess that this sample mean is represent the population mean. Then that is called statistic. So statistic theory is that so human beings are so limited, so we just select samples and guess the population situation. That is the meaning of statistic. Okay, that is all of the first lecture. So study the book and this slide again. Review the slide and books again, And if you have a time, then please find the exercise and please verify that what you studied. Okay. Thank you very much for your listening and see you next lecture.